Okay, so when I was thinking about this, I've never actually recorded an introduction for this podcast. So, welcome to the Royalist King CJ podcast, where we talk about music of all kinds: pop, country, hip hop, trap, R&B, soul. Just overall, we're gonna take a deep dive into music, and just kind of see where we end up, and what conversations and what we can learn from the music that isn't so clear in the first listen. So, welcome to the Royalist King CJ Music Podcast, and I hope you enjoy. Okay, so we're gonna talk about this artist. This artist that's an American artist. I think he's well known. I'll give you that. He's well known to a certain group of people. He makes so only R&B music. In an interview, he said that people spell his name wrong because it's Toosi, like the number 2 in the C, which I find that's a clever way to say it. But he's an American artist. So, with that being said, I think we're gonna review one of his favorite songs. So his most popular song is Favorite Song. Now I'm gonna go into this and say that I have heard about Favorite Song a lot lately. However, I have not heard the full version until a couple of days ago. So this is gonna be my first reaction, my first kind of breakdown, and we're gonna talk about some things. I think, it's always good to talk about concepts and things that you don't quite understand. So we are going to do that. I think that's the best way to learn and to view different things. And I think you will see, as earlier, we have an introduction, which I think is great and long overdue. However, with that being said, let's see if it's possible to go right into it. Okay, and for the record, I think I kind of have to put this up. This song came out in, I believe, 2022, 2023. I think this song came out in November 2022. This was right after the situation, I believe, that he had with his ex-girlfriend at the time, where he said that fame made him cheat. And I think the Favorite Song might be a reply to that, and I'll get into why I think it was a reply to his original works. And I think, or that situation where he said cheating made him, where fame made him cheat, which I'll break that down longer when we get into the song. But let's talk about the first very introduction of the song. It says, "But nobody's gonna make you change. You probably don't. Like anyway, just almost like." Okay, so this line in itself can be broken down 4 different ways. I think there's this old saying that, guys over time will change, but they'll change for the right person, right? Or they won't change until they mess up and they lose the right person or the love of their life. And, and this is why I think, with them, the rumors that he cheated coming, it's either 2022 or 2023, but it was in September. So I think that's what he tries to hint at. But anyways, and he just tries to make it about her, which I think is great. He tries to make it more about the girl's perspective and less about making excuses, which I think, and that's why I say he makes different kinds of music. And I think this is more like an R&B sound for him, because it's, it talks more about the woman's perspective, or it gives more emphasis on a woman's perspective, and I think that's always great music. However, it is written by a guy. So, with that being said, it will hit this. So you might as well get somebody who's gonna help you face, who can make you face what you're guarding, and almost like open your gates. Where's your heart? Just almost, and it's weird. I've had this happen to me, and I've caused this to happen to somebody, but there's a certain connection where people are a connection between two people in which a person is able to open up fully with their heart and their mind, and he's saying that may not have been the case with him. He might not have been able to give him his all because he wasn't fully there, which I think him being open to admit that, and so that they realize that your heart wasn't fully open, so I didn't feel like I was able, I was able to make you smile through your face, which I think that's great. But his chorus is catchy because he says, "I'm on stage right now, singing your favorite song, looking in the crowd, you're nowhere to be found," as they sing along. Which I think ironically, the song is called "Favorite Song," but at the same time, it talks more about, we knew that when I was with you or when I was closer to you, this was your favorite song and you loved it, and I put it out, and now that I'm singing it on stage and with the fame, I don't see you in a crowd, almost as in, and I'm not saying this is true and this is not true, but it does seem like this could have been the reason, right? Like this could have been the reason that connected them, right? Like, oh, this is a song. Because artists have done that. Artists have done the songs that they believe are too personal or better for them to not release or personal. They normally keep it in the vault, right? And select people ever get to hear it, which is why I think he says, I'm on stage singing it, now singing your favorite song. Like I put it out into the world, and it's your favorite song, and you're not in the crowd singing it with me, so it's weird. And they're just, and the crowd is singing along with me to a song that I made about you, or a song that we used to like, which I think, it's weird. I think, definitely because it happens so much in music that it's weird. He says, I say you look good with no makeup and the lashes. Better when you wake up. More just say, I like you in the natural state of you, and that you don't have to, wow, this is an old thing I didn't think I would have to say, but like, doll yourself up. He's like, you don't have to be anybody but yourself, because I truly enjoy the way that you are, which I think, that has some pluses and some minuses to it, but I think overall, he says, when I see a look in your face, I see you're hiding the hate, almost as I know we ended on bad terms, but it's, when I run into you by accident, there's always like a, like tension of hate, like I hate you because you did X, Y, and Z to me, or that's why I'm saying I'm curious if this is about her, in his subtle way of saying this is your favorite song. This is a song that you liked, but every time you might see me somewhere, you might hate me because I allegedly cheated on you, which I think I get it. You can't cheat and then be like, well, you can't be too long about it because I told you about it or I got caught. You can't be mad about it for too long, which is a weird sign that the song isn't making that argument, but that argument does come up. Like when you read some of these, I see you letting someone to scoop you right off your feet. You want to ride in a Wraith, which is a Rolls Royce, which I get. You want somebody that takes you out on dates and just shows you that they care about you in the public space, which I think, past pandemic, I think, we have become like almost to a state where, dates happen. They happen with people, and it's like people aren't really as eager to go out on them as much anymore, and I think that's could be multiple different reasons, or just people I know personally, right? So it's weird, but he says you want somebody to spoil you. You want somebody that can bring you flowers, which is someone you can talk to for hours, which is more like, hey, more that I can give you, like your love language, like the affection, spending quality time, which I think this is what the songs relate to. Like she just wants somebody that he or she can spend quality time with her, which I think to some extent, I think you get here and you're like, well, that's partially true. That is where most people want to be. That's not something that people are like, you know what, that would be nice, but I don't want that, which is a weird thing to take. I think that's, no, it's definitely weird. I won't say it isn't. It's definitely a weird thing to, it's definitely a weird thing to discuss. It's not something, and I think it's a weird side to take, but it's also like, I don't know, it's weird. Like, and a lot of people, I get it. A lot of people say, well, you're not supposed to be like emotionally connected to your emotions if you're a guy, and to some extent, we could see the problems with that now. But it, but when they were told it wasn't seen as an issue. So I get that kind of shit. You want somebody to tell you that you're beautiful. You know, somebody that someone tells you and you mean it and they mean it, which is, hey, you want to know their true intentions, which I get. You know, that's. But I think this is my thing: is if I see you in a certain way, I would hope that you would give your true intentions out. So I don't think you would have to show me your intentions. It would just be more of like, hey, this is how I feel when I'm around you. Um, he says you want somebody to tell you love you every day and don't got a reason. Almost like they're just trying to find, like they have multiple reasons why they're in love with you. And to some extent, I think that that is true. I think that's one way to keep a relationship alive or a marriage necessarily alive. Which we could argue that's not a healthy or a safe way to manage love. Which technically it's not. Okay, so technically it's not. However, for a lot of relationships, this is what it comes down to. You want somebody to bring you peace. You want somebody to help you sleep. Someone to pick you up when you're feeling down, which I guess is weird to me. Solely because you would think, and I think when you're in a relationship, you would hopefully give some attention to that person, and hopefully not only be there for like your own desires, like sexual desire or whatever. You would hope that they're in there for the right desire and the right motives. However, you'll never know their motives unless they tell you, which I think makes me seem like I need, which seems like I'm picking at this song, and I'm seriously, I'm not trying to pick at this song. It's just I do wonder, kind of what made him make the song and release it. Like I think I know what made him do it, but it is kind of it's a weird song because even as the verse is his second verse is I see you look in your face, I see you looking for peace, almost like, hey, we had so much drama in our relationship that you looking for peace is a good thing. I see you tired of the hurt and tired of the pain and tired of the nights when you can't get no sleep, almost because she's thinking that he's cheating on her, that they're thinking that their partner is cheating on them because they're not responding or showing them affection, which that is another kind of discussion, which is weird. I think he says, but I'm seeing you're tired of thinking about if I see you're tired of thinking about if he's cheating, which I think that relates to a lot of me saying, hey, if you can't trust your partner, you shouldn't be in a relationship. However, that's not how black and white it is when you have feelings for somebody. So I get that. I see you tired of if you're leaving, you're constantly debating if you're leaving, which I think to some extent is healthy. I don't think, and I'll say this, and it'll sound harsh, but it is true to some extent. I think if you're gonna have moments in a relationship where you're not gonna like that person. So I think when you're in a relationship or a marriage, you get to a point where you're like, hey, I might not like this person right now. I might not like dealing with this person right now, but I do see myself working better each year to work on our connection or in our relationship throughout the years in order to improve our connection, which, okay, granted, that sounds like something that should be common or that should be known. However, that's not truly the case, and so this is what I'll write it like this. I'll end it and write it like this. I'll say that if you are looking for a relationship and if you're looking for something that that you can love, I think the best way to do it is try to go into a relationship or knowing somebody's true intentions off the start. Like, what are they planning to do? However, the way I'll end this is this overall song is R&B and it has a great message. It's just the fact that you don't have to stay in a relationship, and a relationship or a marriage is not always going to be like roses and rainbows or that honeymoon phase is going to last forever. It's just not. Like, and we've seen it in studies in history and statistics that honeymoon phases just don't really last long, and when they drop, a lot of people feel like they're out of love with somebody, which that's what I'm saying. If you work on a connection that you think throughout these next couple of years with this person, I will work on my connection so that we can become stronger together and build a stronger foundation for a relationship. I don't see why it won't work, but you have to know your limits and what you can do and what you can't do. Because if you can't do certain things, as you said, you're gonna look for somebody that can give you like your love language, which I think is healthy. However, I think this episode might be getting longer than a lot of people are expecting, solely because this song is it's a thinker. It's a song where you're gonna have to think, because you're not getting away with this not thinking of, hey, well, that's smart to have a song where people have to think about a certain catchphrase or hook, of course, or something like that somebody will remember. And I think this is why the song's getting played so much. So because the message behind it is great, it's an ego boost. It's also, hey, we're working through it right now. We're gonna get better at it. But until we do, let's create a good foundation. But it is somebody confessing their truths as well. So I think the song has three-dimensional sides to it. And I think to some extent, I think you really cannot, I personally cannot be mad at, I can't be mad at certain decisions made with the song, because the song choice is great, the beat is great, the words themselves have meaning. So for me, this song is a 7 out of 10. That seems like it's rarely passing. So I'll go 7.5 out of 10, solely because this song is great. The music choice of the style it was going to be, and the way that these lyrics connect to actual messages, without a doubt, that's my biggest pet peeve. Is if you're going to rap about something, give me a message behind it. And I think Toosi has a message behind it, and I think that can go. You can't miss this message because it's brought up throughout this song. It's a repetitive song, but it is a song with a good message behind it. So that's why 7.5 out of 10 for me is where the song sits, which might seem low. I think it might seem low to some people. I think, but that's my honest opinion. So let's have a discussion. Where do you think this song should be rated out of 10? I'm curious.